Good morning from Ubud. Today in early morning we left Kuta with a taxi, and right now we are coming to this monkey park, or actually it says Monkey Forest. Let's see those little buggers. These monkeys also seem not to be aggressive from what we read online, so maybe I will even get to touch other monkey besides this one. It is also known as the Ubud Monkey Forest. The sanctuary is home to 1,060 long-tailed macaques, which are also considered sacred by the local Balinese people. Monkey Forest Ubud holds a significant history intertwined with Balinese culture. Dating back to the 14th century, it has been regarded as a sacred place, housing spiritual forces and guardian spirits. The monkeys are seen as sacred animals, and they symbolize both protection and mischief, fostering a unique connection between humans and wildlife. Monkey Forest Ubud is not just a tourist attraction or a component in the spiritual and economic life of the local community. It is also an important spot for research and conservation programs. The special management and arrangement that have been done in this area encourage researchers from various research institutions around the world to conduct our research, particularly on the monkeys' social interaction and behavior with their surrounding environment, as well as human presence on the site. Fun fact, the trees in the jungle that are seen in the video have their significance as well. It is impossible to recognize it with an eye, but there are 115 species of trees growing there. The tree that is called majagan is exclusively used to construct shrines. The leaves of another tree, for example, are used in a burial ceremony. So it seems all serves its purpose. Right now we came to this really lovely little place in Ubud. We've been seated over here. If you can see, it's our table, this beautiful garden view. And I think we're just gonna see which one of the objects that we planned for today is the closest from here, and how we should plan the route, and of course eat some breakfast. Apa kabar? Baik? Oi, 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 oi. You must pay him to pass. He's like the gatekeeper.
I will have to pay.
Yes. He's a businessman. So apparently these are also the fruits that we bought in the market yesterday, and apparently that could be the tree where it's coming from, and it's like this terrace is full of them. So we found the fruit in a natural habitat. Yeah. Well, from my sweaty forehead you see that we did some nice trekking here on these beautiful terraces. I think in overall we spent about 2 hours here, including flying a drone, making some pictures, stopping for one drink. So it's definitely worth a visit if you ever come to Ubud, and it's also quite cheap to do so. You buy the entrance ticket, I think it costs like 25,000 rupees, and you have to pay additional 10 to pass this local businessman on this side of all these terraces. Definitely worth to do it, and since the weather here is always hot, be prepared to sweat it out. We are in Alas Harum, which is the place where they make coffee from the luwak, which was the little cute animal that we already saw when we were going on the temples tour of Borobudur and Prambanan. But this is actually going to be like a coffee plantation with some coffee trees, and maybe, well actually not, we're not going to see the luwak animal here because it's a nocturnal animal, so you don't normally see it in the wild. There was one by the entrance, it was sleeping, and it didn't want to be disturbed. opinion, the Ceking terrace had so much more to offer than Al Sarum. This place didn't have actual coffee plantation, at least not on the paths that we were on. In turn, Al Sarum is an Instagram paradise, and there's a great Western-style restaurant on the place too. I'm not meaning anything bad, but chilling in a pool and drinking bintang wasn't on our schedule for the day. After about 1 hour of being at Al Sarum, we went on a scooter to some place which was meant to be a local cultural village. However, we didn't find much there. It felt almost as abandoned. The only living things that we saw there were farm animals and kids. But truly, the 30-minute ride on a scooter felt refreshing, feeling that cool breeze on your skin. And we got to pass through some jungle too, so it was still a win for us. I can't underline enough the importance of renting a scooter in Indonesia. It does give you that extra mobility. So we came to this beautiful place. I'm not sure if that's correct translation, but in English they call this place the Firefly Garden. And basically, of course, they also have some rice paddies, but that's not what I wanted to say. You come here around 6 o'clock in the evening or 6:30 on the sunset, and you can witness how all that area that's beyond these nice small houses gets filled with small fireflies. And you'd be surprised or not, but of course it does cost money to come here. You have to pay an entry around 100,000 rupiah, which is roughly 6 euros from a person. And it's just lovely area. I mean, like this pond filled with lotus. On the other side you have another pond filled with lotus. There is like this one beautiful smell over here which I can't detect where it's coming from, but it smells a little bit like lemongrass. So I'm walking around trying to pinpoint the origin of that. While the swimming pool is asking on its own to be jumped in, this is not what we're going to do, at least not this morning, but instead of that we're just going to do some nice waterfall tour here in Ubud.
We're sailing farewell. Well, since the water has, it seems it has been risen up a little bit, and the only way to cross over there, I think, which has always been the case, is to hold on this cable and cross on the other side. But since none of us are professional swimmers, we're not gonna do that, because I've seen too many videos where it ends bad. And these rocks over here, the way you see it, it only tells you that how high the water level can rise, and it becomes completely inaccessible over here. So yesterday, when we were planning our today's activities, I made a big mistake, because the first waterfall where we went had a distance of at least 1 hour from the other one. So instead we figured out we're gonna go visit Mount Batur over there, which was much closer than all the other waterfalls that were planned for today. And here we oversee the lake Batur in same beauty, and a mountain shrouded in clouds over there. So I think it was a good choice.
Yes, it was a good choice.
So let's see how close we can get to the summit of this beautiful mountain.
Well, we didn't really get to the mountain either. Naturally, guys, I didn't film that part, but there were some people who were trying to extort 20 euros from each of us just for going up to the mountain. Yep, they really wanted to extort us, because in Indonesia there is a law that requires every tourist to have a guide with them. So instead of that, we just went on a random adventure with our scooter that we rented.
I mean, this is like another real feeling of being in the jungle over here on this unfortunate day. So we're gonna now visit two waterfalls which are near one another. Place really reminds me of this one movie with Michael Douglas, I think Lost in the Nile or something like that. First place where there was no guide that's asking for an entrance fee.
Yes, that is beautiful, huh?
Yes, indeed. And over here we saw some electricity poles, and look at that. There's like this splitter for electricity with a switch, and like this traditional thing, whatever that is. Interesting. This mighty steed will carry us to the next waterfall, which shouldn't be much more further than a few hundred meters, but we'll ride over there. Well, already from the flag you can see the place could use some reinvestment. But of course we did have to pay here for the second one. For the second waterfall. It's bigger, I can already see it. But let us get closer to it on this beautiful path. It is truly amazing view, guys, I won't lie. It was definitely worth driving here. And because it's like a little bit further away from Ubud and Kuta, of course, you can see we are pretty much the only people over here. So we can actually chill down and enjoy this beauty.
Mama, take this badge from me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Oh. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Well, with all the driving around and all the adventures done, it was finally time to return to the urban part of Ubud. It meant returning back to civilization and stuffing our stomachs with some Indonesian culinary wonders. Before that, we strolled through some market street where I noticed that all the merchandise didn't differ much from what you could buy in Kuta or other places in Indonesia. Finally, I felt sorry about that. I was hoping for a bit more uniqueness. However, before we left Ubud, there was an elephant sanctuary to be visited. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.